and then, you know, make us retake a penalty, which was a penalty at first because those handballs are given all the time. Welcome back to Blue Bloods Football, guys, and I'm sure you're doing well today. As you know, we have progressed to the Champions League. We managed to do it. We managed to get one over on Dortmund. A lot of controversy in this game, especially seeing how like people on Instagram and social media or whatever have commented on you know, the manner in which we won. But hey, a dub is a dub. I'm going to get to all that controversy later, but guys, yeah, follow me on socials, like, comment and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this video. So I'm going to do this in a more formatted way. You know, I'm not going to, you know, just dive into things off the top of my head. I'm going to structure it nicely, guys, because we're better. We're good now, because we're winning with Chelsea. So we started off with a 3 at the back, with obviously Kepa and goals, Cucurella on the left, Koulibaly through the middle, and on the right Fofana. And I'll be very honest there, I saw Cucurella on the left, I was like, oh my days. Not again, playing Cucurella as a left centre back, this is just not going to work. But lo and behold, man had the game of his life. But yeah, I'll get further into that. Midfield pivot was Kovacic and Enzo, which I didn't really have much of a problem with, but I was like, I think these guys are definitely going to find this game more difficult than the Leeds game for sure. Chilwell on the left and James on the right. Havertz through the middle. Who else are we going to play, to be honest, at this point? Sterling on the right and João Felix on the left. So that was our formation, guys. So basically you could see the game plan from the moment we started. It was hard pressing, press from everywhere on the pitch, get the ball back quickly, take your opportunities, you know, increase the speed of play, basically passing, no overthinking, none of that, which was obviously good. But it made me think, is this going to be another, like, you know, 15 to 20 minute Chelsea where we're good at the beginning and then we falter out later throughout the match due to fatigue and just, you know, other things that you normally associate with this Chelsea team? But no, actually we didn't have the exact same energy throughout the match. It's kind of impossible because, you know, obviously you can't sprint around like a maniac. Anyone who's played a football game knows this. But yeah, at the beginning of the game, you know, the Sterling chance ruled offside. You know, the first chance of the game I saw was ruled offside, but you know, he got the ball taken away from him even though he was clear on goal. But they still just showed elements of indecisiveness from Sterling, so it's something he needs to work on, but it's going to be a tough thing for Sterling to work on to get rid of that indecisiveness he has, because he's carried this habit since he was at Liverpool, even before when he was playing Championship. So yeah, it's going to be something I'd like to see Sterling get rid of, hopefully. But yeah, no, still positives from this game, like I said. And the thing is, you can see elements in this game of confidence, like how much confidence and belief does for a team. Like before, at times it looked like we couldn't even do first touch, right? And now all of a sudden guys are receiving it and passing it at pace. It's ridiculous how just a change in mindset can do that. So yeah, I find that very interesting. So it's not like, oh, we need a buy player who can have a better first touch. We need a lot of the players can do exactly what we need for this team and above that. It's just about their mental capacity and the belief of them to actually think that, yo, I can actually do this, you know what I mean? Like everyone looks sublime today, you know what I mean? A few faults here and there, but the majority, everyone had the right energy and mentality. Dortmund fans were really loud. At times I thought we're playing that Signal Iduna. I was like, what is this takeover? It's crazy. There were pockets of fans and they were making so much noise. So big ups for that. Like, I'd like to see Chelsea fans be that vocal at times. I guess it comes with being spoiled fans sometimes. Like, it's the most rough fans that have like the toughest like backgrounds or whatever in terms of results or whatever that are the most vocal and loud, and they're jumping around and making noise. So it's really good to see. Like, they released that yellow smoke and I was like, what is happening here? Where are we playing? Is this our home? You know what I mean? So it sucks to be like out vocalized during a game, but hey, Dortmund fans are just aces in general. Like, I'll give that to them. The times Potter looked like a fan from the touchline. This guy's jumping around, swinging his hands, cheering, and it was nice to see. Like, I've been on Potter for the past few videos, but it was nice to see him be a bit more animated and show some drive and personality and stuff, which is what a lot of us were just waiting for. Like, give some kind of emotion, you know, shows that you care for this team and the results, which I kind of don't doubt per se, but at times he comes across like he doesn't, so this time it was nice to see. And also another thing, for him to actually give instructions on the side of the pitch was actually amazing to see, to pull players and be like, yo, do this. I've never seen Potter do this. Funny how he saves it for this game. I guess, yes, it is more important during this game's probably his most important game, but yeah, it would have been nice to see before. But yeah, I'll give credit where it's due, like I said. And I find it interesting that I think he's got as many UEFA Champions League knockout wins as Antonio Conte. This is his first season in the Champions League, so yeah. Let's talk about that. So yeah, Emre Can was all over the place. I saw his foul on Kai Havertz for that opportunity Kai had, which is a bit questionable in my opinion, because Kai performed a similar thing outside of a box and it was an instant foul, but you know, in the box for a penalty there was nothing there. And Emre Can's one of those players who's just very like aggressive and, you know, likes to be physical and is mentally like that guy, you know, those kinds of players. But yeah, it is what it is. It's interesting. Havertz's goal was ruled offside, that amazing crossbar and end goal. But like I said, it just showed the audacity of his team to try and do things. Like, Havertz looked amazing today, guys. Yesterday. Like I said, he was just on form. He was everywhere. He was pushing everything he did right. His touches were amazing. Saw a wasp there, sorry. His touches were amazing. He was audacious enough to take on players, take shots, move the ball fast, control it well, all the things he did so well. That's majority of players on the pitch last night, so I'll give them that much. So yeah, unfortunately ruled offside. Yeah, Chilwell missed the chance on a stronger foot, unfortunately. Cucurella was amazing that night. Like I said, I was worried about him playing left centre-back. My goodness, and man put on a display. Like, I was so shocked. Like, he was defensively quite solid, tackled hard when he needed to, came across the goal when he needed to. So many times he saved us. He was forward thinking. This is one of the first times I actually saw him get to the byline and try cross, you know what I mean? Like, we never saw that before. He was always like hesitant, but I've always thought Cucurella was a decent player. It's just like he could see something was off with him mentally, which goes to my point in this game, in that all the players are top players. I think we have very good players in the squad and more, now that we have an overinflated squad, but everyone has the capacity to do well in this team and win a bunch of trophies and make top 4 easily. You know what I mean? It's just about mental capacity and belief, and the fact that if you want to do it, you can. And that's what we've been missing in this team. You know what I mean? Just that mental capacity. It's not about, we need to buy another person who can control the ball, or we need to buy another player that can do this. We've got more than enough players that are more than capable of performing at a top level at this club. It's just about whether or not they think they can do it. That night, last night, they showed that they could, and everyone played really well. So it just goes to show. These guys, my biggest thing, and I've told a lot of my fellow Chelsea fans and friends, that Chelsea play when they want to. When they want to. That's what I've always been saying. When these guys feel like putting on a very, tough, convincing game and putting on a great performance, they'll do it. That's what always happens, and that's never changed for multiple coaches now. It doesn't matter what coach is there. So that's on the players. Anyway, so Sterling's first goal was quite good. Like, he did a nice shimmy to get past Royce, bundled a bit, but still got past him, took a shot, got the goal. And that goal came from, again, perseverance, pushing, moving the ball fast, fighting for every second ball, every third ball even. And that's how the goal came, just being more determined and wanting it more. That mental shift, that attitude changes everything for a team. If everyone collectively wants it, it is hard to beat teams like that. And that's what I'm calling for in this team mentality. Ability is one thing, but mentality is the primary thing. If a team is hard to beat mentally, then not much you can do. The greatest teams across history, the one thing you can pick up on is the fact that these guys had very good mental strength and they believed they could do what they could do, what they did. So that was just a glimpse of it. Anyway, so Havertz's retake penalty, that's a bit controversial. I want to talk about that because personally, from my opinion, right, a lot of other fans, draw the narrative of rival fans, and social media draw the narrative of, Chelsea won this game because VAR was on their side. Todd Boehly bought VAR as an extra signing, etc., etc. In my opinion, I don't think that's the case. I feel like if we did go as far as to buy VAR and referee, our 2 or 3 offside goals would have at least stood, or at least one of them would have. It doesn't make sense to rule 3 goals for very close offsides and then, you know, make us retake a penalty, which was a penalty at first because those handballs are given all the time. So you know what I'm saying. From Wolf, he's actually a very solid fullback, by the way. Big ups to him. The guy's got the mental ability, like I always constantly bring up on this channel, that every player needs to be successful, and he's physically on point as well. Like I said, Havertz's goal was somewhat I can understand why people think it's controversial. Thing is, the rule's a rule, encroachment is a rule, and that's what happened. There was encroachment on that goal. It was slight, but that's the rule. But personally, my own opinion is that I think the encroachment rule is very harsh in general. I think the whole rule should be bottled, because as a keeper, I'm not even a keeper, but playing football growing up, I know how difficult it is for keepers to save penalty. If you ask any keeper, it's quite a difficult thing for a keeper to save a penalty without slightly moving off his line before the penalty is taken. The ball moves so fast from that area. If someone really belts the ball from there, now you must react after that. It's one of the most difficult things to do as a keeper. So I think that rule as a whole is very soft. But hey, we got the goal, a bit of luck on our side, and we'll take it. Not like we didn't work for it. So that's my opinion on that. Weird substitution again from Potter. Gallagher coming in for Felix. He did not look happy to leave. Later on, Zakaria is even coming in for Enzo. So, but you know, it worked out. I could see us trying to add in more energy and defensiveness in that team, and then, you know, Pulisic there just to get anything that might break and keep the ball or something. At the end of the day, it works. When you make these decisions as a manager and it works, no one bats an eye. When it doesn't, it's like, hey, you know, we come back at you. But me, I'm non-biased nonetheless. You know, if you take a penalty in one corner and it goes in, it'll be a good penalty. If you take a penalty in the same corner and the keeper dives and saves it, I still think, cool, you made the decision to go outside, you hit it with decent power, but the keeper just guessed right. That's my opinion. Some people will be like, no, it was a bad penalty if the keeper saves it, yet the situation's the exact same. So what now, with regards to Potter and like where this club is going now? So personally, I mean, listen, Potter got 2 results. Two good results, I guess, in the fact that we won both of them. The Leeds game was like etchy. Our performance still wasn't that great in my opinion. Dortmund game was great all around. But here's my thing, in my opinion, and people can say I'm negative or pessimistic or whatever. Like I said, I come on this channel and I give my opinion. I'm not here to voice other people's opinions or what the masses say. My opinion is that I still don't rate Potter as a coach, to be honest. He had a good game. Like I say, and what a friend told me, one of the best sayings I've heard in my life, a broken clock will always work twice a day. Basically stating that you could do a bunch of bad things, which basically determines that you have a bad character through your actions, but eventually, just because you did something right once or twice, it doesn't change what previously occurred and what has been deemed by your previous actions, essentially. So Potter was going to win the game eventually. I mean, out of 16, 17, what was this, our 18th game? Now, we happened to win the last 2 when his job was like really in danger, and one performance was like semi-decent and the other was quite good. So it doesn't really surprise me. All I saw was statistics at work. That's how my mind works. Like, you're bound to win 1 or 2 on the run. Arsenal had terrible runs in the past and they won a couple, and their record was still better than Potter's, so nothing's changed about that. I still want Potter out. I'm still looking forward to a new manager coming in, but what is apparent and is a realistic possibility now is that he ain't going anywhere. He is not going anywhere for the duration of this season at least. And I think he's going to get the pre-season until we got another bad run again, which is obviously what I don't want. I don't have the emotional capacity, guys. He's probably going to get the pre-season and the beginning of the next season as well. So I think this dream of us hoping Potter should leave, I think forget that dream, eh? I think kill that dream, bin it. Because this man is obviously here to stay. Bowley's been like waiting for this kind of result. Obviously going to go to the board members, be like, yeah, I told you so. But like I said, broken clock vibes. It's interesting that, you know, Potter changed formation to his usual Brighton days. I would like to think this is the resurgence of Potter and where he all of a sudden develops great managerial. Had a very nice big dictionary word for you guys just now. Oof, man. but take my word for it. Yeah, hopefully he'll, obviously become a more decent manager for this club, or more fitting manager for this club. I don't think he was a bad manager per se. Maybe I might have said that in other videos, but collecting my thoughts, I don't think he was a bad manager. I just don't think he was the right manager for a club like Chelsea. He could have been a good manager for a club like Arsenal. No offense to Arsenal fans, but they are a big club, but they have a different process going, you know what I mean? The fact that they supported Arteta this long shows that it's different from how Chelsea manage things. So I think him and Chelsea are just polar opposites, but the culture is changing at Chelsea clearly by the new board and what they're trying to instill. So maybe it's time we kind of get on board with that per se. I'm not saying, hey, time to support Potter. I'm just saying at least acknowledge the fact that people are trying to change things and change the culture. So we can't get the things, we can't, expect the same kind of process and, framework that have kept the club going previously. No doubt they're successful, and I agree, but it's obviously changing, and just get used to that. Like, there are certain elements of the club that have remained the same. Like, I think it would be nice to keep some of these characters in that maintain that Chelsea grit and culture, that standard that, this is Chelsea. And by a manager saying that to you should be enough to kickstart your brain and be like, oh snap, this is Chelsea, let's get going. You know what I mean? That was enough previously. Like Emma Hayes' speech towards the women's team. Like, Emma Hayes has been at this club longer than Bowley, obviously. She's been around for ages, and she has that grit, that mentality. She understands the standard. It's across the board. The men's team, the youth team, the women's team, everybody. So that's what I don't want this club to lose, essentially. So yes, guys, Potter is going to stay. I'd like to think this is his resurgence. Maybe this tactical shift, this 3-4-3 has done something, I guess. I mean, I didn't see that much at Leeds. It was just more defensive cover. But at the Dortmund game, there was something there. I'd like us to pick up from it. But again, I'm going to come with the realistic result. Some people may think it's pessimistic, but I work according to what I see. 2 results don't erase what has gone on in the past. What has gone on in the past, or recently, in those 16 or so games, have shown me enough, and that we're not going to come out swinging. Like I said, Chelsea playing last night was Chelsea, essentially. It was what I've described from Chelsea previously, in that we play when we want to. We get a result when we want to get a result. That's our attitude. It's always been like that. Like when Tuchel goes to the Bernabeu with Chelsea in the second leg, and they smashed us at Stamford Bridge the first time, and then we came and beat them at the Bernabeu. Obviously not enough to go through, but still enough to beat them at the Bernabeu, obviously. And the way we came out and played that game, with Mount scoring and Werner, my days, that guy looked like prime R9 on that day. But this has been Chelsea's DNA, so I wasn't too excited in terms of like, oh no, the manager's finally got it on. I don't think so, not at all. That was pure Chelsea. Those guys coached themselves, as far as I'm concerned. Potter was a cheerleader. I mean, with respect to Potter, I guess maybe he did do a few things tactically right. I'll give him that, But yeah, this has been Chelsea. We perform when we want to. Next game, whoever it's against in the Premier League, watch us go back into the slump, back into the shock, because the urgency is not there anymore. So it's just typical Chelsea DNA, and my stance remains the same. Potter out. I'm going to do another video on possible managerial candidates. Yeah, so anyway, hope you guys had a good time, enjoyed it. It's Blue Bloods football. Enjoy your day.